The Utah Jazz obliterate the Brooklyn Nets in the fourth quarter tonight by the final score with us 42-20 fourth quarter, and win it 123-110. Jazz notching their second straight win. David Locke and Ron Boone with you here on POSTCAST. And Ron, let's go to that fourth quarter. The Jazz have quite the fourth quarter offensively. They end up shooting 6 of 8 from 3, 14 of 22 for the field. They score 42 points. They also have a very good quarter in the defensively. The Nets only shoot 7 of 20 and 2 of 11 for 3. I think the Nets, that's where they really missed Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas. They had no idea where to go without the basketball. What did you see in that fourth quarter tonight, Ron?
I'll tell you what I saw for the game, and I'll get to the fourth quarter. I thought this was like one of those ugly wins, and you come to life at some part in a ball game, and you end up winning. But I just thought it was a very ugly. It was an ugly win.
In other words, they did not play very well for much of the night.
Correct.
Brooklyn was incapable of knocking them out. So they were able to knock Brooklyn out in the fourth quarter.
It was but it was necessary for them to play the way they did in the fourth quarter. 42 points in the quarter, that's a lot. That's a lot of points. And obviously the 3-point shooting in that fourth quarter was 6 for 8.
Yeah.
You
the Jazz started 0 for 3 in the first quarter. I mean, here's what's interesting. The Jazz in the first quarter go 0 for 3 from 3. And they fall behind by 9. Then they play even in the second and the third. They trail by 9 at the end of the half. And then they get hot in the fourth quarter from 3. It's kind of how the game was dictated. What's interesting about that tonight, though, the Jazz, who usually take, just to make sure I'm totally accurate on this number, the Jazz, who usually take 44% of their shots as threes tonight, took only 23 of 83 of their shots as threes. That's probably a little under 30% if I'm doing my math right. So Brooklyn really took away the threes for much of the night until the fourth quarter, when I think Brooklyn played last night, didn't have their guys, kind of ran out of juice. But the Jazz tonight were either more selective in their 3 attempts, or Brooklyn denied them their 3 attempts better than other teams have all year.
Well, that could be the case there as well. But and not having the good looks. But I think they were expecting, David, the Nets, as Scott said, they're going to switch all 1 through 5, switch all over the floor and try to make things difficult for you or make things ugly for the most part. But Jazz had some very good 3-point shooters. And I was very impressed with the fourth quarter for sure.
It was pretty interesting tonight. The Jazz came out with a game plan that the way Brooklyn plays the pick and rolls, that Nick Claxton comes up high. And the Jazz were going to play Filipowski, because he was the center tonight without Nurkic, in the pocket of the free throw line, and then send cutters from the baseline. They did that on 2 of the early possessions of the game. Got a dunk from Ace going one direction, Lauri the other, and Jordi Fernandez disbanded that defense immediately, went to switching, and the switching did seem to cause the Jazz to lose their flow a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was the key there, because switching 1 through 5, the Jazz just did not get those good looks. And you find teams, David, that close out early enough on 3-point shots that keep you from getting the uncontested looks. Or now Sensabaugh can get his threes off whenever he wants to, because his follow through and his arch on his shot is very, very high, and it very seldom does to get it blocked. Seep is the same way, but Lauri and sometimes Keyonte, those guys, it can be pretty tough sometimes.
All right, the 2 studs came through. We'll start with them. Lauri Markkanen, 30 points tonight, 8 rebounds in tonight's game, 11 of 18. He had not been shooting it very well. He only takes 5 threes. He hit 2 of them in the fourth quarter that were the dagger shots. And Keyonte has 29 points tonight, 10 assists. Few thoughts on this, Ron, tonight. What jumps out to me about both these guys, big nights. They played the whole outing. Because they weren't having big nights the whole night. It wasn't abundantly clear that they were on their way to 30-point nights. We don't have a lot of other guys, so they do score a lot. But it didn't feel as though they were on their way to massive nights. They just kind of kept playing the night through.
I thought that as well. And obviously, Lauri had the big third quarter. The third quarter period was big, I thought, because they played the Nets even in that quarter. I think it was 32-32 in that quarter. But then Lauri was the one that got things going in that third quarter, and then Keyonte comes in the fourth quarter, doesn't it? And it makes things happen. They got 6 6 threes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threes in that fourth quarter. And that really made the big difference there.
I think the other one that you look at this one, only one turnover tonight by Keyonte to go along with his 10 assists, certainly that. And one thing that Will Hardy did not want the Jazz to do was get caught in just kind of a ragged game tonight. He wanted them to kind of stay in their systems, in their game. They did that as the night went on, and that I think gave them a great advantage. There was a big-time step forward guy tonight. We'll touch on him in just 1 second. But first, let me tell you that tonight's show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Locked On and the official betting partner of the NBA. The NBA is back. There's no place to get more to the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game and want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same-game parlays for a bigger shot of a payout. Keeps everything exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So FanDuel, right now, go to FanDuel.com. When your first bet wins, $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. The official sports betting partner of Locked On. And today's show is also brought to you by DoorDash. And you have, actually, this is good news for you because of Jamal Murray last night. So this is still active, what I'm about to tell you, because Dash Pass is, in fact, in their bag today, because whenever an NBA player goes off for 50 all season long, you are the winner. And that's the story after Jamal Murray did it last night. So here's how you get into the bag. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, Dash Pass is making it more fun all season long because every player has their bag, and DoorDash fans have theirs too. Dash Pass. Keep your snacks stoked, your gear fresh, and watch party vibes absolutely on point. Those late night interviews hit. Suddenly you need chips at midnight. DoorDash is built for that. In the group chat says pull up. DoorDash makes it all get going. So from tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash in your bag all season long. And if you're a Dash Pass member, you get a discount because of the 50 from Jamal Murray last night. Ron Boone, the guy that might have changed the game and is probably going to get the Will Hardy praise tonight, is Walt Clayton.
Clayton, yes. I thought he had an excellent, very under control basketball game. He got 24 minutes, 4 for 7 from the field. But more importantly, he was just so under control. He had 3 assists in the game. David, he rebounds as well. Now, I know what did he have tonight? He only had a couple of rebounds. Well, he had, is that 4? No, he had 2 rebounds. But he's in there rebounding it, and he's only 6'2". So I agree with you. I thought his play out there on the floor really helped the Jazz, especially in that fourth quarter.
Collier came back. He really lost his rhythm. He was pretty terrible for about a 5-game stretch, and then he seems to have kind of broken through the haze here for a few games. Do you see him grabbing more time?
Collier?
No.
Clayton, yes. I see him getting, absolutely. I think he's so much under control, much better shooter. And it's going to boil down, I think, to his decision-making out there on the floor at that position. Tonight was excellent. I mean, you know he was on the floor. He was getting the job done. He's a threat to shoot the basketball. And I thought he was starting to look like he was looking at the beginning of the year.
He was plus 22 tonight in 24 minutes. The rest of our bench guys had some pretty ugly numbers. Taylor, in just 7 minutes, was minus 10. Isaiah, in just 14 minutes, was minus 20. Bryce was minus. Actually, Bryce ended up being only minus 2 by the end of the night. Cody played briefly for about 8 minutes tonight. Had 2 turnovers, I think, or 1 foul and 1 big turnover in that ball game. So not a great stretch for the rest of the bench guys. So good to see that Walt Clayton stepped up. Kyle Anderson is one of a kind, Ron, playing just over the water from where he grew up in New Jersey, and he was really impactful tonight.
I haven't heard a coach say one bad thing about him as far as a player is concerned. I mean, his style is different. I mean, obviously his shot is much different, and the way he gets the job done as far as rebounding, and he's just, but It's the reason he's a professional basketball player with his game. Because if I was to watch him play in a pickup game, I'm not picking him. You know what I mean? But out here on this floor, it's a lot different.
I think he was even Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-10, which is like the absolute craziest thing when you watch him. And it's not just an NBA career, right? He's now been around and been doing this for quite some time and is in his 12th year in the NBA at 32 years old. So he just kind of keeps there. And I don't... It's a pretty valuable guy. I think he's got a few more years left running around the league. I'd be surprised if he's out of the league anytime soon.
Yeah, 30th pick, 2014. Is that correct?
Yep.
So, yeah.
How did you feel Kyle Filipowski did tonight as with the role of being the starting center?
I didn't mind him at all. I thought he did a very good job. Even if the Jazz had lost, I would have said the same thing about him. I thought he did a very good job. And he was matching Claxton's minutes, matching Claxton's points and rebounds and everything, especially in that first half. So I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, if I'm a Nets fan, I'm pretty disappointed by Nick Claxton tonight. Maybe on a back-to-back, but he really was impacted. Really did not have an impact to the game. Noah Clowney just stepped up in that 29, but you're right. Kyle Filipowski's final line tonight, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, compared to what they saw to Claxton. Claxton's a major piece. That's got to be disappointing if you're a Nets fan. All right, Ron Boone, what are you doing for Jazz Notes tonight?
I got Lauri, and I have Filipowski and Keyonte, Kyle Anderson, and Clicks.
Can I add one tonight?
David. Okay, you can add one. David.
I'm going to give Svi Mikhailuk plus tonight because the concept of the Jazz Note is a level of consistency that your coach can rely on him. Mm-hmm. And he is really putting out 24, 25 minutes of really solid, consistent basketball, making shots. The fact he only takes 4 or 5 shots a night is good for us. We don't want him taking 10 or 11. It allows Key and Lauri to do the things. He spaces beautifully. He plays defense. I just think he deserves a Jazz Note.
You see, I had it marked and I took it off.
Oh, you did? Yeah,
took it off.
Then you shouldn't have done that. All right. That is.
So we give Filipowski one as well.
Filipowski gets one. Svi gets one. Jazz win. We'll be in Madison Square Garden tomorrow. Locked on Jazz tomorrow is an Ask LOJ edition, so please send me your questions. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. You got a whole night to live. It's we're early. See you later. Talk to you soon.